Happy New Year, everyone. On this edition of Oxford News This Week, a new judge faces a critical decision to make for Oxford, saving lives and looking for a driver of a hit-and-run accident. That and more on this special edition of Oxford News This Week. Back with you in Oxford News This Week. The retirement of an Oakland County judge meant a new judge would be assigned for the civil lawsuit filed in the Oxford High School shooting case. Circuit Court Judge Ray Lee Shabbat retired on December 31st. Judge Mary Ellen Brennan was assigned the case on January 3rd, made her first appearance on January 4th. Brennan issued an order that she would take briefs submitted in the case under the advisement and issue ruling at a later date. Attorney Ben Johnson, representing families against the accused shooter, his parents, and employees of the Oxford School District, previously filed a motion asking for more time to gather deposition testimony before challenging a dismissal motion by the Oxford Schools attorney, Tim Mullins. Mullins filed a motion last March claiming governmental immunity on behalf of the Oxford employees named in the case. Under Michigan law, government agencies and their employees are generally not liable for negligent acts if those acts were performed within the scope of their governmental function or employment. Shabbat was appointed to the Circuit Court in December of 2000, and Brennan was elected to the court in 2008 and has been presiding judge in the Family Court Division for her tenure at the court. This happening in our local area. Oakland County Sheriff investigators continue to search for the driver who struck and killed the Shelby Township man earlier on Sunday morning in Oakland County. And then Benjamin Cable, 22, who was pronounced dead along the Rochester Road south of Wims Lane on Oakland Township after being evaluated by paramedics and called to the scene. The crash happened at around 5:49 in the morning on New Year's Day. The Sheriff's Office said Crime Stoppers is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the driver, believed to be a woman of Asian descent in her mid-30s. Believed that she was behind the wheel of a white, gray, or silver BMW 3 Series sedan from model years 2016 to 2018 when it struck Cable in the southbound lane of Rochester Road, where the speed limit was 50 miles an hour. Not known if Cable was standing or walking in the roadway when he was hit. The Sheriff's Office said the 2017 BMW 3 Series sedan illustrates the approximate year with this picture, color, and style of the vehicle investigators believe was involved during the fatal occurrence. According to the investigators, the vehicle involved likely has damage on the hood, and the front bumper might be missing as well. And it's not sure if drug or alcohol use was part of the accident. Cable, the Sheriff's Office said anyone with the information of the driver or a vehicle involved in this crime should call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Tipsters, you can remain anonymous. Knowledge saves lives. Start learning today. Much like the event that took place last Monday night at Monday Night Football with the football player Damar Hamlin, it's not too late to start. This past Wednesday morning, Captain Kevin Snell of the Oxford Fire Department EMS coordinator taught another valuable class at Station Number 1. Students learned how to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, how to use the automated external defibrillator paddles, AED for short, how to stop a choking victim, and add first aid skills. If you're interested in taking another class, they do offer them. Contact Captain Snell at EMS, oxfordfiredepartment.com, and you can sign up for the next class. On December 20th, Oakland County Sheriff Michael Burchard announced a new scholarship being made available to some Oxford students. The 5 scholarships at $500 apiece. Oxford High School were going to be named of the Oxford High School November 30th shooting, the day of the mass shooting. If you plan to attend Oakland Community College, part of an ongoing effort to recognize that date of November 30th, but also to move forward in a way to support the students and the people regarding that tragedy. Again, 4 souls lost their lives, as we well know. Sheriff Burchard said in a recent press conference the scholarships will be presented at the Oxford High School Awards ceremony in April. The scholarship is intended for OCC and is made possible by the Oakland County Deputy Sheriff Association Family Benevolent Fund, again, which has raised more than $24,000 through the sale of Oxford Strong Pins. Students must graduate from Oxford High School, and then they can apply through Oakland Community College. At its last meeting, the 2022 Addison Township Board of Trustees voted to opt out of the interlocal agreement with the Oakland County to dispose of household hazardous waste. This year, the township had a member of the North Oakland Household Hazardous Waste NOHAZ group for almost 20 years. It's been part of that group. Pearson said the cost of the township is to sign up for the 2023 would be well over $12,000. We tried to figure out the economics of it. This year, they really raised the rates. It would cost about $100 a car. Quite frankly, he said he thought they could do better. The NOHAZ Consortium is a group of 17 Oakland County communities that, according to the county website, have come together to provide residents with safe, reliable, environmentally responsible ways to dispose household waste, HHW. The communities in which are included: Addison Township, Brandon Township, Groveland, Independence, Orion, Oakland, and Oxford, and Rose, Springfield, Waterford Townships, plus the villages of Leonard, Lake Orion, Oxford, Ortonville, and the cities of Lake Angeles and Pontiac and Rochester. As of the December meeting, Oxford Township signed the NOHAZ agreement. Searching for a way to dispose your live Christmas tree. If you still have that hanging around the house or maybe outside the house, take it to the Seymour Lake Park. Once again, the Oxford Parks and Rec Department has established a drop-off site for live Christmas trees. It's located at the southeast corner of the parking lot, adjacent to the tennis courts and across from the Kids Kingdom Playground. Again, there's a red and white sign marking drop-off site. The trees must be clean, meaning that they should have no artificial materials, tinsel, wire, plastic bags, or anything attached. Only natural trees will be accepted. No artificial trees, please. Trees will be collected through the end of January. The park is located at 2795 Seymour Lake Road Park, and the Parks and Rec staff will collect the trees, turn them into mulch, which will then again be used for township parks. Every tree that gets chipped means more mulch enhancement for your beautiful park system. As we are in the middle of a sports lull, we will be back, and we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a version of Oxford News this week in the next segment from the Oxford Leader, January of 1923, 100 years ago. We'll do that shortly. With that, Dave Kenny will have a segment. Again, I'll be back with the 100 years episode of the Oxford Leader, and we'll have more on Oxford News this week right after this.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Good morning. I'm Connie Miller from Free Meals. You probably all know that by now because I've come to you often enough, but I'm back again. You can see from the picture behind me, that's what our pantry shelves looked like last night after service. We started service in pretty good shape, low on a couple things, but we're empty now, which means I'm going grocery shopping as soon as I leave here. We continue to need help from the community. Cash donations, grocery donations. I think maybe some people are curious as to who is receiving this service from the team. They're your neighbors. No one knows what goes on in the house next door, but I know a lot of these people. And initially, a lot of these people were embarrassed when they pulled up because they've known me for 30 years. They live next door to us. They live down the street. It's not all senior citizens and homeless people. Matter of fact, that makes up a very small percentage of the people that we serve. These are families with children, and it's getting worse for them every week. Trying to make their bills. They work, they have jobs. Most everyone's gone back to work of some sort, whether working from home or back to an outside position. Nobody's slacking here. That term was used yesterday by a gentleman at Meijer when he saw that I was buying a lot of milk and eggs. He referred to those people as slackers. Well, they're not. They're trying really hard, and they are reluctantly accepting help, asking for help, and they're very, very grateful. But we're almost 3 years into this now, and things are just continuing to get worse. So I need help in every way. As I said, I need groceries. I need cash donations to buy groceries. I need people to help with the cooking. I need volunteers. I would love it if somebody said, hey, I'll go grocery shopping for you, give me a list, and I'll bring it back to the church for you. Or when are you stocking the shelves? I'll come and do that. When I have somebody on vacation, like I do right now, who generally runs the pantry, I'm doing all of that, in addition to the other things I do. And I'm not complaining, but there's plenty of opportunity here to help. To the parents, this is a good time to teach your kids. Teach them that there are people out there just like them that are going through a tough time, and they can help. They can show up, if for nothing else, than to smile and wave at people on Wednesday nights. It's amazing how far that will go. We love to have the kids come. We also, if the kids need service hours, or if you know someone who's had perhaps some legal issues and they need service hours, by all means call me, 248-933-4579. That might as well be on a billboard around town, but we just simply need your help. I hate having to keep coming back and asking. We had really hoped that this thing would be over by now, or would at least be better, but it's not, and now we're moving into winter months and the holidays. If you can't put food on the table, you're not buying Christmas presents. For myself, my husband and I are not buying Christmas presents this year. That money goes to other places. It goes to free meals. And, you know, it's hard to deny yourself, but maybe think about this. If you're going to have a child and you're going to buy them 10 gifts, buy them 9 and give me the difference. I can make it go really far. So we're heading into Thanksgiving, where we will be serving a turkey dinner. Could really use some help that day with the cooking and with the packing and everything else. Face it, we could use help all the time. We've got a big team of people, but not everybody can make it every week. And some people are frankly getting burnt out, and I can understand that. On a side note, last year we were chosen to be the Grand Marshals for the Christmas parade. We were thrilled, but there was no Christmas parade. So we were asked to be the Grand Marshals for this year's Christmas parade. So if you have ever volunteered or donated to free meals, if you're still on the team, whatever your connection is, we would love for you to join us in the parade. We will be leading the parade, and we'll have our banners, and we will walk and shine a light on all the good work that all of you have done. Even if it's something small, it's appreciated. So consider that. We'll line up at the corner of Crawford and Mechanic at about 12:30 on the first Saturday in December, and you are all more than welcome. So think about that. And you can bring groceries with you, or you can bring cash with you. Going forward, just please think of us. Think of what we're doing, and this isn't for us, it's for our neighbors. And some of those same people that come and get food and groceries and such return and volunteer. They feel like they have to pay it back. Well, they don't, but we certainly welcome them. I have several people right now serving that come to get food because they need it. So there's really no rules or guidelines. You don't have to give me your ID to get food, and you don't have to tell me why you're there. Just come and be there. And tell your friends. You know, it'd be a great holiday thing. Have a food drive in your neighborhood, you know, or amongst your clubs, or these various group chats. I mean, there's so many ways people are in touch with large groups of people these days. Help me get the word out. Again, my number is 248-933-4579, and we will be including a list of the groceries that we carry on a regular basis as part of this. I'd like to thank Terry and OCTV and my wizard Kyle for helping me, again, using their facilities to put this together so I can get the word out to you quickly. Thank you all.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. The Maverick has been a smash hit since Ford launched the compact truck in 2021, capturing the 2022 North American Truck of the Year honors and enjoying some of the highest monthly churn rates of all Ford nameplates. U.S. sales tallied over 68,000 vehicles through November of 2022, making it Ford's #2 pickup behind the F-Series and ahead of the Ranger. Fans of the truck who wanted more off-road versatility now have an option: the 2023 Maverick Tremor. The Tremor offers a 1-inch lift for improved ground clearance, a specially designed front and rear suspension to boost off-road capabilities, and a 2-liter EcoBoost engine 8-speed automatic transmission with advanced all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive lock. It also features trail control, which functions similarly to cruise control for off-road driving, and 5 selectable drive modes so customers can switch between on and off-road capabilities. Customers who opt for the off-road package can also purchase the Tremor Appearance package with a carbonized gray painted roof, mirror caps, and hood and side graphics. The 2023 Ford Maverick Tremor off-road package is $2,995, and the Appearance package is $1,495. In our next story, at Kia, the freshened 2024 Steltos subcompact crossover comes with sharper styling, a new X-Line trim, and more power from its turbo engine. The Steltos, the brand's entry point, joins the ranks of its larger siblings, the Sorento and Telluride, in offering the more rugged-looking X-Line trim. Its reworked front fascia features a larger tiger nose grille and new bumper design that creates a wider appearance. New vertical fog lights are incorporated into the daytime running lights, which reduces clutter and gives the small crossover a more commanding presence. The restyled rear is cleaner, with a new tailgate lighting design and new backup lamps and rear deflector on the rear bumper. The ruggedness of the X-Line is enhanced by 18-inch wheels, black roof rails, and gloss black door trim. For 2024, the vehicle is offered in LX, S, X-Line, EX, and SX trims. The X-Line replaces the Nightfall edition of the outgoing model. The X-Line and top SX trim get a turbocharged 1.6-liter engine paired with an 8-speed transmission that now gets 20 more horsepower for a total of 195. The rest of the lineup gets a 2-liter 4-cylinder mated to a continuously variable transmission, delivering 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. All Steltos trims are all-wheel drive, but a front-wheel layout is offered on the S. Kia also added an optional panoramic display with dual 10.2-inch screens, one in place of the gauge cluster and the other for the center touchscreen. Now, there are 4 USB ports split between the front and rear, that's up from 2, and the SX sunroof package offers a power liftgate, ventilated seats, and digital key 2, which allows the crossover to be locked, unlocked, and started via an Apple or Android smartphone or watch. The Steltos menu of advanced driver assistance safety technology now includes standard forward collision avoidance assist with detection for pedestrians and cyclists, as well as blind spot collision warning for the S trim and above. The SX now gets intelligent speed limit assist and intelligent speed limit warning, which alerts the driver if it detects the vehicle is surpassing a road speed limit and can be set to restrict the vehicle's speed. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Welcome back to Oxford News this week. Again, we will be covering a lot of the winter sports. Again, that'll be underway as the months of January, February, and March continue on. But obviously no sports after the winter break. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at the past, 1923, January 19th, 1923. 100 years ago, if we were doing this very show, this was taken from the Oxford Leader. An ornament of our pretty and credit of the officials, the beautiful new home of the Oxford Savings Bank, which has been under construction since March, is now completed, and the officers and directors of the bank extend an invitation to all present. Next Monday, January 22nd, the bank will be open from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. in order to give the public an opportunity to visit the up-to-date institution. The building is located at the corner of Washington and Burdick Streets and constructed of Indiana white limestone at a cost of $35,000. The flagpole, which is seen as a bronze, and it cost the neighborhood of $300. To enhance the door, a bronze opening into the vestibule. Upon entering the lobby, the visitors will be astonished to see a beauty in the simplicity of the marble, glass, and mahogany combinations in different apartments, with gold, silver fixtures adorning the ceilings and sidewalls, which at once will appeal to the onlooker to the matter that you could not even explain. The progressiveness of the old institution, the cashier's private offices are also mahogany, one of spacious room and design. Large green fireplace ornamenting the one side of the furniture, a place where private business meetings can attend. A smaller room which will be used for private affairs. Tan draperies, silk linen, and much of the effect of the interior finish are keeping with the beauty and harmony and provision that have been made for the convenience. Again, convenience of women patrons in nicely furnished restroom and toilet area, finished in the southern pine and oak tables and chairs that add much to the attractiveness. In that same week, Older Boys 10th Annual Conference will be underway. The Older Boys of Oakland County will be held at the Pontiac on February 3rd, 1923. Delegates to the conference came from an organized group of older boys such as high school, church, Sunday school, high Y clubs, the age limit from 15 years and up. The commissioner of the schools has invited the boys to attend the afternoon session of the Teacher Institute to hear a noted orator, Ray Morton Hardy. At the same session, Mr. Cameron McLean, a noted Scotch baritone, will sing. An innovation is being developed as well that has never been tried before in the boys' conference. Those engaged in this preparation for the promising meeting, boys of great surprise, registration cards will be there and be handed out by pastors, leaders of the school, principals, and there will be only a limited number of registrants accepted for each town, so early application is definitely necessary. The Oakland Motor Car Company making some special plans to conduct a conference, members through their plant, and there will be short talks. Industrial problems will be discussed with plant officials. Also, the North Oxford Farmers Club. The North Oxford Farmers Club will hold a box social at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Earl Delano on Friday. However, the family evening, January 26, 1923, a fine program. Mrs. Eva Bogardus, treasurer, will be there. The next meeting will be held at the home of Mr. and Mrs. William Gladden on Tuesday, February 20th, 1923, which then time for invitations will be extended by Miss Rogers to meet them at a later date and other meetings. And finally, from 1923, 100 years ago, from the Oxford Leader, the Ladies Literary Club met at the home of Mrs. E.M. Steer Monday afternoon. After a general business meeting, officers were elected for ensuing the year and are as follows. President, Mrs. Nina Brokenshaw. Vice President, Miss Carrie Davis. Once again, that was from 100 years ago from the Oxford Leader. Again, we'll have sports where this normally is next week. Again, we'll be back with more. Dave Kenny has one more segment, and I'll be out to close the news right after this.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. NASA's experimental X-59 plane is scheduled to take to the skies early in 2023 to see if it can break the sound barrier without creating a huge sonic boom. If it works, it could lead to the return of commercial airliners that can travel faster than the speed of sound, as the Concorde used to do. The X-59, which will take off from Palmdale, California, is built by Lockheed Martin, but is the product of decades of supercomputer simulations and supersonic wind tunnel tests at NASA's Langley Research Center in Virginia. The plane is a strange-looking beast at 30 meters long and just 9 meters from wingtip to wingtip. Its skinny paper dart shape is dominated by an outsized proboscis-like nose. The pilot can only see ahead via a video camera because the slant of the nose is too great for a decent-sized cockpit window. The shape is designed to reduce the sonic boom created when a plane breaks the speed of sound in air, which is 343 meters per second at 20 degrees Celsius. The 105 decibel sonic boom that Concorde produced could be toned down to a soft thump of 75 decibels in the X-59. And this is roughly the noise you would hear when a car door is slammed shut 6 meters away. The chief trick is creating this quiet supersonic technology lies in sculpting the plane so that the shock waves generated by its nose are prevented from coalescing with those produced by its tail. This is why the nose is so elongated, to push out the front shock waves as far as possible from the rear ones. The merger of the waves by the time they reach ground level is what causes us to hear the loud boom, says David Richwine, the X-59's Deputy Project Manager for Technology at NASA Langley. Initial flights of the single pilot plane are scheduled to start in early 2023. 7 to 9 months later, the aircraft will set off on a tour of the U.S. making supersonic flights over communities in rural and urban locations. Thousands of people will then be polled by NASA on whether they think the sound level is acceptable. If the noise quelling measures are deemed to work, NASA hopes aircraft manufacturers will be able to adapt them to a new generation of supersonic airliner designs. The only commercial supersonic airliners to have flown to date were Concorde and a flawed Soviet Union competitor, the Tupolev Tu-144, both of which are now retired. Concorde's economic prospects were hampered because aviation regulators didn't allow it to fly lucrative supersonic routes over land due to the noise and building damage its sonic booms caused. The X-59's chief engineer, Jay Brandon, is confident that they have cracked the noise and damage issue. Based on all of our computational fluid dynamics tools in which we've propagated the pressure disturbances all the way to the ground from the flight altitude, we believe we know how to do it, he says. And we'll see when we go fly. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
The day that JD was injured, I had woke up to an odd phone call. It was the military calling to tell me that he had stepped on an IED.
My role in the Army was I was an infantry scout. I was a squad leader for a recon element.
The Army doesn't really prepare you for injuries. They either prepare you for the soldier to come home or not to come home at all. They don't prepare you for the in-between. There's things that I do for him that is considered caregiving that to me is considered just loving him.
The day I got injured, she got wounded as well. And the veterans wouldn't be the men that we are and the women that we are today if it wasn't for our better half helping us every direction we go.
The Coalition to Salute America's Heroes helps severely wounded or disabled veterans just with basic needs such as emergency financial aid. For our family specifically, they tremendously helped us out with employment through their Heroes Thinking Heroes program.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more.
Back with you on Oxford News this week. Time to say goodbye. Our first newscast of the 2023 campaign here. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99, and the ATTU YouTube, Rumble, and Facebooks. Folks can also even download the Roku app and watch OCTV programming. OCTV is also available to local groups for producing public service announcements. If you have a show idea and want to volunteer, give their office a call at 248-628-9658. Thanks to our producer-director today, oh yes, Mr. Dan Zweiss behind the big board, videographer Al Campbell, our editor will be Kyle Snage, program coordinator Dan Zweiss, program director Connie Miller, and station manager Terry Stiles. For everyone at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week, and I invite you back next week when again we will take a look at Oxford News this week.